just a wonderful place to watch a ball game, and I'll tell you, there is a very good crowd on hand here for the final of the first ever North American Fast Pitch Challenge. Stepping up to the plate now is Bill Boyer from National Healthcare in Sioux City, the center fielder. What a player he is, batting .375 for the tournament. First pitch is low and away for a ball.
Bill Boyer said to be one of the finest fast pitch players around, all-round player. They don't get much better than Boyer.
Makes his home in Seattle, travels weekends to play with Sioux City. That's a story in itself.
Well, last year I think I accumulated a little over 80,000 miles. I leave every Friday morning, get into Sioux City around 4:30 in the afternoon, and play my games that weekend, and then get home Sunday night quite late and go to work on Monday. So it takes a little bit of wear and tear out of you, but it's what I want to do, and I want to continue to play. I don't, the travel I can do without, but I'm playing with the team I want to play for, and I don't want to cheat myself out of any years I have left. So we'll try to continue to do that.
Pops it up to shallow left center field. That should be no problem. The play is made by the left fielder Doug Aston. One is gone in the top of the first inning.
They have a number of players that are commuting to and from work, to and from play, I guess you'd call it. The sponsor making sure that he has the best available players, he feels, in his lineup, and they'll go to that length. As you mentioned, Boyer traveling from Seattle to the Midwest.
Todd Stevenson's had himself a good tournament, batting .600, playing shortstop for National Healthcare.
Come on, Horde. Come on, Horde. Wow.
Stepping into that one, that's fouled back. Strike one.
Stevenson's another player, Jim, that commutes. He commutes from Bloomington, so he makes the trip to keep on this ball club.
Well, we talked about the low pay that the umpires are receiving for this tournament. The players as well. I mean, they basically have to do it for the love of the game, because fast pitch is not what you would refer to as a high-profile sport, but the camaraderie, the team aspect of the sport is really second to none in any endeavor. Right down the middle, fastball by Piechnik, strike two.
As this game goes on, Todd Stevenson is known as quite a proficient bunter and slapper. He'll slap at the ball and be halfway down to first base.
One ball, two strikes. Mike Piechnik, national team pitcher for Canada.
One ball, two strikes.
I think his motion more than anything, as well as the quickness of his pitch, can confuse the hitters. Foul tip. One ball, two strikes.
Piechnik is fast, and he's very accurate. He was telling me before the game what he wants to do on these batters is to keep the ball low. He figures if he gets it up there, then we'll wave goodbye to it.
Foul tip into the glove of the catcher, and he is gone. Two out now, top of the first.
So as soon as I mention, what does he do? He goes high. He puts a riser in there and fans him, but that's all right.
Third batter of the inning, Marty Kernaghan from Calgary, Alberta, national team member, third baseman, leads this tournament in home runs with 3. High and outside, ball one.
One ball.
Down the right field line, that is foul out of the park. 1-1.
As you mentioned, Marty from Calgary, a real team leader, career average of .345. He's only picked up one home run in this tournament, but he actually makes his home down there now in Iowa, and also he's a flyer, commercial flyer, is a charter business with his brother out of the Bahamas.
Low. I asked him if he was one of the players that commuted for his games, and he said no.
No. That's a commute and a half.
With a big smile, of course. Strike two. Strike three as Marty Kernaghan strikes out. Good start for Mike Piechnik. He retires the side in order. You're watching the North American Fast Pitch Challenge on TSN.
When it comes to important...
We'll lead things off for Victoria Payless, followed by Tony Bertoia and Darrell Clarkson on the mound for National Health is Jimmy Seaman. First batter is Jeff Herford, batting .278 for the tournament. He will face Jimmy Seaman, who was also the pitcher in his last game earlier today. Grounder up the middle, easy play. Shortstop to first base, one is out.
National Healthcare Discounters. A lot of people, Jim, are having trouble with that name because this team was Pencorp for 12 years, and when you have a name of a team for 12, it's like the Brooklyn Dodgers becoming the LA Dodgers. I know for years people were still calling them the Brooklyn Bums, and it's that kind of a transition period right now. National Healthcare Discounters, a new name for Pencorp.
We'll call him Sioux City. Blown away to Tony Bertoia. He takes it for a ball. No score, bottom of the first inning. If you're just joining us, this is the final of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge. We'll get it right before the afternoon's over. 1-1.
If not, you can borrow my lips for a couple innings.
Catching the outside corner again. Tony Bertoia stepping out of the box.
Jimmy Seaman, another one of the great New Zealand pitchers.
Foul ball. Count remains at 1-2. New Zealand fast pitch, very, very popular sport down there. We had the opportunity to watch one of the best in the world earlier today, Shub Teralonga, who unfortunately did not have a good day. But boy, can he throw the ball when he is on. Struck him out. First strikeout for Jimmy Seaman. Tony Bertoia the victim. Two is gone in the bottom of the first. Darrell Clarkson the next batter. First baseman for Victoria.
A lot of Vancouver Island players on this Victoria team, Jim. Darrell from Campbell River. Seen a lot of great athletes out here. Play many sports.
High foul tip for a strike. 2-1 the count.
Darrell Clarkson, quite a hockey player too. His other love.
2-2. Big cut.
Clarkson's been on the national team for 4 years. 7 years with this club.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pops it up infield. Third base Marty Kerrigan under it, and it's 1-2-3 inning for Victoria Payless. No score after one complete. You're watching the North American Fast Pitch Challenge on TSN. On hand today, stands are filled here at Queen's Park in New Westminster, British Columbia for the final of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge. Victoria Payless taking on the National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa. Through the first inning of play, there is no score. 3 up, 3 down for both teams. Mike Piechnik throwing for Victoria this afternoon. His receiver is Rocky Vitale.
I think we're going to have to throw a lot of drops because if you throw a rise ball to these guys and they hit it clean, it's on its way up, they make contact, it's on its way out. And I have to throw a lot of drops to these guys, maybe change the speed. they're a smart team, and they can read all my pitches before I'm letting them go, so chances are the batter's got a good idea of what's coming anyways. They're really well known for picking a pitcher's pitches before he lets it go. So you have to hit corners and be real cautious because they're just an outstanding team from 1 to 9. Very good team.
Man, it's a pleasure to watch, isn't he?
Isn't he something? And we found out directly from him that he claims this is his last year. He's had enough. It's a shame. Top of his game, one of the top 5, if not the one of the best in the world.
Did he give you a reason why, Wayne, when you had a chance to talk with him?
Yeah, basically he said he was just tired. The demands of this sport are really something. The travel and the amount of time you have to put into it. Even though he's a single guy, he said that he just wants a rest. He's tired.
Grounder up the middle, easy play, short to first. He pulled him off the bag. He's safe. Mark Sorensen legging out that high chopper to the shortstop, Tony Bertoya. Bertoya having to hustle, getting the throw away, seemed to get stuck in his glove, and it pulled the first baseman off the bag, Darrell Clarkson.
He just threw that one high. This infield has been giving some pretty true hops for this whole tournament. We haven't had many problems.
Strike one to Trent Rubley, one of the new members of this Sioux City ball club. Batting .375 for the tournament. Left fielder, and hit with power to most fields. Up the middle, this is going to be a close one again. Runners are safe all the way around. He tried the sacrifice bunt, but he got more on it than I think he wanted to, but he got away with it. So Trent Rubley with the second hit for Sioux City.
Of course, you get a power hitter up there, you aren't really expecting him to bunt, although he is a good bunter. I've been told that he can lay him down. As you say, it's not really the kind of bunt he wanted to put down.
Actually, that almost looked like a slap. You know, like the slap it that is very, very common in fast pitch.
Yeah.
First and second, none out for Sioux City. First opportunity of the game for them. Randy Burnside, who was a hero in the semifinal with a grand slam home run. Got the big knee brace on his left knee. But if you can knock the ball out the way he does, you don't really have to worry about running.
I asked him about that knee brace. He said, well, it's he's got it on there because of knee surgery.
No, I had major reconstruction thinking that I was Michael Jordan last winter, so I found out the hard way that I'm not.
Yeah.
Trying to lay down the bunt again, advances the runners, and he does. Randy Burnside sacrifices himself. One is gone, but the runners advance, and Mark Sorensen and Trent Rubley now at third and second in scoring position.
They played this bunt really, they were on this ball quickly. Of course, Burnside isn't going to break any speed records getting down to first, but it was cleanly played for the out.
So with one out and runners at second and third, there's a chance for the catcher Tim Wall to get Sioux City on the scoreboard. And getting that first run or possibly even two is so crucial, because how many times have we seen these games go down to the wire at 1-0 or 2-1? Usually very, very closely contested. Tim Wall, the catcher. Strike one.
Wall's another ASA All-Star. Goes without saying on this Sioux City team, though. This roster is filled with All-Stars. All-Star catcher.
Just outside, 1-1 for Tim Wall. Foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Something you might look for when Tim Wall gets behind the plate next time. He's a catcher who does not wear a chest protector.
Matter of fact, Rocky Vitale behind the plate now for Victoria is the first catcher I've seen in this tournament wearing a protector. Now remains 1-2. Many of them feel that it restricts their ability to throw the ball. Others say it's a macho thing.
Yeah, I'd say it would restrict me getting back up if I was ever hit. That ball's coming in pretty good.
Struck him out. Big strikeout.
There's that hard riser again coming up.
From Mike Bieknik on Tim Wall. 2 is out. Runners remain at second and third. Mark Sorensen on third. Trent Rubley at second.
Well, Piatnik gets 2 strikes on a hitter. He'll come in with that high hard one. That riser will come in. And as you can see, not easy to get a bat on.
And now the designated player, Doug Middleton, will try to keep this alive. He has runners in scoring position. Swings at a high one. Strike 1. 2 out. Top of the second. No score.
Doug Middleton's another guy who is a commuter. Commutes from Kansas City. This ball club. Good hitter.
High and inside. 1-1. This team is loaded with good hitters.
Yeah. Not only is Middleton a good hitter, he's a pitcher. You'll find that a lot. Designated player. Pitcher. He's a good hitter. You can put him in, leave him in.
A number down the third base line. Throw to first. Side is retired. 2 men left on base. Still no damage. We are through an inning and a half. Sioux City failing to cash in 2 runners as they leave them stranded. We're scoreless. You're watching the North American Fast Pitch Challenge on TSN. Welcome back to the North American Fast Pitch Challenge. I'm Jim Van Horn along with Wayne Cox. You can barely see us, but believe me, we are here. Bottom of the second inning. Victoria coming to the plate now. No score so far. Mark Makarith getting ready to face Jimmy Seaman for the first time today. Makarith, the designated player for Victoria. Swings at the first pitch. Foul ball. 1 strike. Jimmy Seaman came in with 3 wins and no losses in the tournament so far. He's pitched 18 innings and has an ERA of .39. That was strike 2. And he swings at a high one again, so he goes down on strikes. Second strikeout of the game for Jimmy Seaman.
You're one of the many New Zealanders that plays in this caliber of ball. Can you comment for us on why there are so many players from New Zealand?
Well, I think you'll see a lot of pitchers over here anyway from New Zealand because primarily we don't have baseball. Softball is one of the main summer sports, and we've had a history of having some pretty good pitchers come out of New Zealand. And baseball over here takes priority, I guess, and you don't get a lot of guys starting out pitching. That's probably why you get so many guys from the Southern Hemisphere.
Happy to be in the States?
Yeah, I'm going to college in Sioux City, getting an education, so it's given me a great opportunity and trying to take full advantage of it.
Next batter is the catcher, Rocky Vitale. 333 for the tournament.
Rocky's quite a story, Jim. He's All-American out of Madison, Wisconsin. There's a hotbed of fast pitch softball for you. School teacher over in Victoria.
1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Very few imports on this Victoria team. As I mentioned before, most of these players are from Vancouver Island, Rocky being an exception. Although now making his home there.
2-1 now.
2 balls and a strike. Third baseman Kernigan over to first base. Easy play. 1 away. 2 away, pardon me, in the bottom of the second inning. Here's Vitale swinging at a look to be a changeup. Kernaghan gets it over to Clarkson for the easy out. Next batter is Doug Chase, who's the national team catcher in Canada, but he's playing right field in this game. Ball.
Good call, Jim. Doug Chase from Port Alberni, from a Port Alberni family that's very much involved in sports over there. He's a teacher, married to a teacher. Quite a ball player.
One and one. Low and away. 2 balls and a strike.
Payless people take great pride in the program that they have in Vancouver Island for softball, for fast pitch. They have about 200 minor softball teams in their system, always feeding the big club.
Foul tip, 2-2.
They take advantage of that too. The kids look up to these players, and you know, they're always there striving, trying to make the team, and it works the other way too. These team members always available for clinics and to help the younger players along the way. Just helps the whole system.
And they certainly have a tradition of winning.
Don't they, though?
Strike 3, second strikeout of the inning, third of the game for Jimmy Stevens. So through 2 complete innings now, we are scoreless. You're watching the final of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge on TSN. In the early going of this North American Fast Pitch Challenge final so far for Sioux City. He's pitched to retire the side, high and inside, as Doug Chase strikes out, the second strikeout of the inning. 1 hit so far in this ball game, that belonging to Sioux City, as Steve Carrion, the second baseman, comes to plate again, and he sends one up the middle for his first hit of the game, and a single. So once again, Sioux City getting off to a good start with a man on base. They left 2 stranded in the last inning.
Carrion just found the hole on that one. Nothing fancy. If you hear them yell hawk, that's what they call Carrion.
Bill Boyer, the batter now. Sets to bunt as the ball gets away from the catcher, Rocky Vitale. And the runner, Steve Carrion, advances to second.
For those new to the game, you're going to find a lot of action when a runner gets on base, with these bases only being 60 feet apart.
Sets to bunt again. The ball is foul.
There's a lot of speed, and they seize every opportunity. Take advantage of it. Very aggressive base running at this level.
You want to talk about a man with speed. You're looking at him right now. Boyer has speed to burn. Boyer going after a high pitch. 1-2 the count. Man on second. That's Steve Carrion, who singled to start off the inning. Two and two. Close pitch.
How many umpires have we got here, Jim?
It's like a couple of thousand to me, Wayne.
Sure sounded like it.
I especially like the calls from the right field line. Here it is. Of course, this camera's not on center. That was high.
Well, this is getting downright ugly now, Jim. Oh, boy.
Brian Van Oss, the home plate umpire. That foul tip came off the roof and hit him right in the back of the head. Almost got our roof cam. Up the middle. They've got him hung up. They've got Carrion in a rundown, and they tag him out. And in the ensuing rundown, Boyer advanced all the way to second base. So that gives you an indication of the kind of speed that Bill Boyer has, and he wasted no time at all, knowing that Carrion was in trouble, to take advantage of the situation.
Jim, you talked about his speed, and we certainly saw it there. Straight back to the pitcher. They got him hung. As our camera goes out of range, that's when Boyer took off, and he's standing at second base.
So they get Steve Carrion in the rundown between second and third. Bill Boyer advances on the infield hit to second base, and Todd Stevenson, the shortstop, now comes to the plate, hopefully to bring Boyer home. Can't overemphasize enough the importance of getting runs in when you have the opportunity, because 9 times out of 10 these games are very low scoring affairs.
Here's Stevenson, another member of the USA team.
Turns to bunt. Oh, and the catcher, Vitale, just fails to get it. But again, Victoria unable to make the play. Vitale went after it and appeared to make the catch.
They're ruling that ball was touched fair by Vitale. Let's have a look.
Lays down the bunt. Boyer is going, and then he has to stop to check up. Vitale tries to make the play, obviously touching the ball in fair territory. Badovina coming in to make the play, the third baseman, but no one was covering second to nail Boyer as he tried to make his way back. So on the ensuing play, Todd Stevenson is safe at first. So with one out, once again, Sioux City have men at first and second, and Marty Kernaghan at the plate. Kernaghan has power. He has 3 home runs. He's tied for the lead in the tournament. Stevenson at first. Boyer at second. 1 is out. Top of the third. Ball. Stab by the first baseman. He went for 2, but he couldn't get it. Advancing the runners.
Almost threw it away on that
First
one.
baseman Darrell Clarkson making a great stab on that ball, hit down the right field line by Marty Kernaghan. We have an injured player down on the field. That is the shortstop, Tony Bertoye. He might have been spiked on the slide by Stevenson. Kernaghan at the plate. Sends his ball right down the right field line. Good play by the first baseman, Darrell Clarkson. He turns and fires, and yeah, it looks like Stevenson was spiked on the ensuing slide.
Even though he slipped on that throw, I don't think he had a chance on the throw to second base. Looked like his back foot slipped on the throw, and that could have been into left field.
It's Tony Bertoye, the shortstop, who is covering second base on the play. Once again, the play to second.
The left foot leg goes from under him. He slipped on that.
It looked like he caught a spike, but
yeah.
it was, I mean, considering that if he did, he moved quickly enough to get over to block that ball and prevent it from going into the outfield.
Well, for the final, the fans are getting to see just about everything so far, Jim.
Bob, everybody goes into a tournament expecting to be undefeated. I'm sure you did. And look at this. You come into the final game undefeated. What's the secret? What were you guys doing that nobody else was doing?
Well, I think it's hard to come into a tournament like this with the top 10 teams in North America thinking you're going to be undefeated. I think our expectations were that we would be around on Sunday, but I don't think anybody thought that maybe we would be undefeated with the quality of teams that we have here. It just happened that everybody contributed to the wins that we had, and our pitcher came up very good, very strong, a lot of strikeouts, and very successful.
No reason why this shouldn't be a cooker right to the end.
Okay, once again, we're in the top of the third inning as the fans show their appreciation to a fine play by Tony Bertoia. Men are on second and third. That's Bill Boyer on third. Todd Stevenson on second. Marty Kernahan was out on the play on a fine play by Darrell Clarkson. And now coming to the plate is Mark Sorensen, the first baseman. Again, runners in scoring position for Sioux City. Bertoia testing that leg that was injured in the preceding play. Mike Piechnik set. High, ball one. Sioux City made it plain they wanted to play Victoria in this final. They wanted to get revenge for that 1-0 loss they suffered in that round robin tournament. Ball two. 2-0, 2 outs. Top of the third, no score. Victoria Payless, National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa. Ball three. You're watching the final of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge on TSN. I'm Jim Van Horn with Wayne Cox. Bill Boyer is on third base. It's Todd Stevenson on second. Mike Piechnik being very deliberate. Catcher Rocky Vitale setting up on the outside of the plate. Piechnik just missing, and we have 2 out with the bases loaded now in the top of the third as Sorensen draws the walk.
It's not a bad place for Sorensen, Jim. Sorensen being the top batter in the world today. He's batting in and around 333 for this tournament, 352 on the season. He has a hot bat. Rather you walk him to first than to let him do bigger damage out there.
Well, now you got to face Trent Rubley. Strike one. Rubley batting 375 for this tournament.
Is there a message here?
You can't get away. You can run, but you cannot hide.
I was going to say, where is the weak link then? Doesn't seem to be one on this team.
One and one.
Comes from a very athletic family. Rubley, his brother was drafted by the Los Angeles Rams. Quarterback for Tulsa University.
Swing and a miss on a changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Trent Rubley trying to keep this thing alive for Sioux City, who left 2 runners stranded in the last inning. They've got bases loaded now and really bust this thing wide open with a hit here. Piechnik delivers, swings and fouls it off.
What happened last time this team had bases loaded, Jim? Randy Burnside was up, wasn't he?
And he deposited over the right field wall with authority.
They're still looking for that one.
Wind's coming in today. It's a little difficult to get the ball out of the park, but these guys can do it. 242 feet down the line in left, 241 in right. 250 straightaway center field. Swing and a miss. Mike Piechnik pitches himself out of a big jam. Bases loaded for Todd Rubley. And once again, Sioux City unable to take advantage of their situation, leaving 3 runners stranded. Big pitch here by Mike Piechnik.
That's why they pay him the big bucks, is it? Look at that rise.
Overpowering Trent Rubley to retire the side. We are still scoreless through 2.5 innings of play. You're watching the North American Fast Pitch Challenge on TSN. Queens Park is our location. We are here for the final of the North American Fastball Challenge, the first of what many people hope will be an annual event. We are runless in the bottom of the third. Victoria Payless now coming to the plate. Doug Aston for the first time. Squares to bunt. Ball. story so far is the inability of Sioux City to get their runs across. They've left 5 men stranded in the last 2 innings. The right field in foul territory. The catch is made by Randy Burnside for the first out of the bottom of the 3rd. Dave Badavinik is the 3rd baseman.
Another Vancouver Island product, Jim. Port Alberni born. He has his degree, chemical engineering. He played a lot of junior ball in the Victoria area.
Looking for his first hit of the tournament. Takes it inside for ball 1. Swings and miss, 1-1.
That Seaman's a big man. I was talking to him just before the game, and very soft-spoken New Zealander. Praised the New Zealand system that they have down there, their club system of bringing players up, much like you're discussing with the Victoria system.
Strike 2.
You can bring it in, can you?
You sure can. Just inside.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
2-2 is the call. 1 is out in the bottom of the 3rd for Victoria. Dave Badavinik, the batter. Fouls it off to keep alive. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Jimmy Seaman. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Dave Badavinik still looking for his first hit of the tournament.
Jimmy Seaman, one of the New Zealand players, as I mentioned, and taking advantage of his time in Iowa as he's going to college there. He's a business major. Decided that he'd spend a few years in the United States and pick up an education while he was here playing ball.
Strike 1 called on Bobby Court, the 2nd baseman, making his first appearance at the plate this afternoon. Court batting .273 for the tournament. 3 hits, 1 run batted in. Strike 2 as he tried to slap that one yet again. See the players a lot of time take a couple of steps forward and actually try to slap the ball with the bat. 9 times out of 10, the effort is to get a big bounce so they can hopefully run it out. And he tried it again and struck out on 3 pitches. So again, a very quick inning for Jimmy Seaman as Bobby Court tries to slap at it. From the overhead camera, you get a good indication of what he tries to do. Almost like a swinging bunt.
It is, yeah. It's like the old drag bunt that we used to know. It gets you down to first base quick, and if you get contact, and sometimes you can catch the 3rd baseman and 1st baseman coming in to try and take the bunt away from you, and the slap can sometimes poke it in over their head, and you can get down to first base.
No score through 3 innings. You're watching the North American Fastball Challenge on TSN. To the top of the 4th inning now, Randy Burnside is making his 2nd appearance at the plate for Sioux City as Mike Piechnik unleashes a wild pitch as it gets away for ball 1. Piechnik came into this final with a 5-0 1-loss record. His ERA is .18. Rather effective. Just caught the outside corner on Burnside. 1-1. Conditions throughout the week here in New Westminster have been perfect. No rain. It's been hot, sunny. Burnside swings and misses for strike 2. A little bit of rain last night to cool things off.
There's some water rationing going on around here, you know that, Jim.
That's really amazing. You would never think that rainy Vancouver would ever have to ration their water.
Careful now.
Outside, 2-2. But it has been a very dry spring out here on the West Coast.
It's been great. It's been dry, and it's been hot, and it's been absolutely perfect weather, as you mentioned, for this tournament. All the ball players very happy about that, and the grounds have held up. It's been perfect for baseball, not to mention the fans.
Fouls it away out of the park.
Can you find a better thing to do on a sunny afternoon to sit and watch this caliber of ball, world-class ball? It's been spectacular here.
The great thing about this particular sport, fast pitch, is the enthusiasm with which they play. There's very little arguing about calls that may be good or bad, or close calls at the plate. The players just play the game. They play it quickly. They play it well, and it looks like they have fun when they're out there.
And the game itself, they've tried to keep this game moving along. When we were talking with the umpire-in-chief earlier, he was saying, if they really want to call it, there's 10 seconds for that batter to get in there and get ready. 20 seconds for that pitcher once he has the ball to throw it, to keep the game moving along.
3-2 the count as Randy Burnside fouls it away again to stay alive. Burnside batting only .200 for this tournament, but boy, was he a hero in the semifinal. Bases loaded, and he cracked one over the right field fence for a grand slam home run to up his total RBI for the tournament to 5. And what a crucial time did that hit come. Right across the outside corner. Burnside caught looking. Another strikeout for Mike Piechnik, who's been effective. He's gotten himself into a few jams, but he's worked his way out. Coming through with a fastball on the outside corner. Burnside frozen.
He was not happy with that one.
Catcher Tim Wall. Blown away. Struck out his first time at bat. Change up. Caught him looking. He wasn't ready for that.
Tell you, with that changeup, you have to have a chiropractor on the bench. You know, to put all your pieces back together.
1-1.
You know, we talked about how close the pitcher ends up. I mean, once he takes his little hop off the rubber and ends up in front of the circle there and releases the ball, how close he is and the speed, the changeup becomes a very important pitch.
Just outside. 3 balls, 1 strike on Tim Wall. 1 is out, top of the 4th. No score. Caught the corner. 3-2. This is the final of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge. Victoria Payless went through the tournament undefeated. Sioux City with 1 loss to Victoria. Foul ball. He took a cut at that one.
Well, Mike's doing what he said he wanted to do before this game started. He wanted to move the ball around. He wanted to play on the corners. He wanted to go inside. He wanted to go outside. He didn't want to give him too much upstairs because he figures that he starts playing that game and that ball is going to be over the fence. As soon as I speak, he throws it over the fence. You know what I'm saying? That one got away on him.
Mike Piechnik with his first walk of the afternoon to Tim Wall. He advances to first base. 1 is out, top of the 4th. No score. The batter is Doug Middleton. Grounded out first time at bat. Swings and misses for strike 1. Keep in mind, in fast pitch, the runner cannot leave the bag until the pitcher is into his motion and the ball leaves his hand. So he has to stay on the bag. If he leaves, he's automatically called out. Bunt. Piechnik turns and looks at second. He had no choice and goes to first to get Doug Middleton. But Tim Wall advances. I think a couple of his teammates thought that maybe he could have gotten Wall at second.
The play was to second. He had a lot of time. After the play was made to first, he was looking around. almost looking confused. I don't know why, because second base was taken care of. The play was there. Chose to go to first.
So once again, Sioux City has a runner in scoring position. They've left 5 men on base so far in the first 3 through 3 innings of play. Steve Carrion now coming to the plate, the second baseman. Singled his last time at bat. High and inside. Rocky Vitale having words with his pitcher to settle him down.
You might notice the 2 numbers on the jerseys of Sioux City, 32 and 28. Those are for in memory of Paul McCann and Steve Schultz, a couple of players who played on this team who were tragically killed in a car accident in 1990. Out deer hunting, the 2 of them, best of friends, played on the ball team together.
Both pitchers.
Out deer hunting, and were going down a road that they weren't familiar with, and car went off the road, and both were tragically killed. That's why you see 32 and 28 on the sleeves. Iowa team.
2 balls, 1 strike on Steve Carrion. Man on second base. That is Doug Middleton. Pardon me, that's Tim Wall. Doug Middleton sacrificed him over to second. Strike 2. 2 out.
Carrion signaling back to the bench that he felt that one was a little high.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and once again, Mike Piechnik gets himself out of a jam by striking out the side. Steve Carrion the victim this time around. Another man is left on base for Sioux City. That is 6 batters left on base through 3.5 innings of play. No score to tell you about from New West. You're watching the North American Fastball Challenge on TSN. In Westminster for the North American Fast Pitch Challenge. I'm Jim Van Horn along with Wayne Cox. We're just getting set to get underway in the bottom of the 4th inning. Steve Carrion was the last batter for Sioux City. From above, this is what he saw as Mike Piechnik pitches himself out of a jam yet again. That ball well inside, it appeared from that angle, but Carrion was after it. He missed it. And again, Piechnik getting himself out of trouble as the game remains runless. This is Jeff Herford, who grounded out his last time at bat. Seaman delivers high for a ball.
Herford, another Victoria-born player, also in the national rugby team, Canadian national rugby team, so a couple of sports with him.
High fly to shallow right center field. Play was made by the second baseman, Bobby Courts.
Jeff Herford went down and tried out for the Cleveland Indian organization, minor baseball league camp. He and a couple of buddies did it on a lark, and I say they did it as a lark. He had never played baseball before. Thought he'd go down there. It's the kind of athlete he is. They had a serious look at him, too.
That was Steve Carrion, the second baseman. Pardon me. First pitch to Tony Bertoya is a ball.
Bertoya, a member of the Pan American team.
Foul tip, strike. Time called. Bertoya struck out his first time at bat. Goes after an outside pitch that goes foul. Strike 2. 2-2 the count on Bertoia. Scoreless game so far here at Queens Park in New Westminster, British Columbia. Out of play.
Just thumbing through my latest edition of the Fast Pitch Chronicle, Jim. Everything you ever wanted to know what's happening in fast pitch can be found in this newspaper. It's out of Poignette, Wisconsin. So you can look for it or write to them. Fast Pitch Chronicle, Poignette, Wisconsin. 53955 is the zip. Fast pitch enthusiasts everywhere.
Bertoia slaps one through the infield into left field for the first hit by Victoria.
I'm sure that Victoria bench is saying it's about time.
Seaman delivers. Bertoia just goes with the pitch.
That was well hit.
Third baseman Marty Kernigan was guarding the line, and he got it between Kernigan and Stevenson for the first hits by Victoria this afternoon. No score so far. Darrell Clarkson steps in. First baseman swings at the first pitch for a strike. One and one.
As is the case with a lot of these players, they're capable of playing a lot of different positions. Clarkson also an accomplished pitcher.
There's the slap. Advancing Bertoia to second as Clarkson sacrifices himself. So now Victoria with a runner in scoring position.
We got the job done with this one. As you mentioned, Jim, it was a partial slap. Didn't get a lot on it, but didn't have to.
So with 2 out, Tony Bertoia, who singled, finds himself on second base thanks to the sacrifice of Darrell Clarkson. So now it's up to Mark McArith, the designated player, to see if he can bring him home. There's the first pitch from Seaman high for ball 1.
McArith's another Victoria product. He played in Edmonton for quite some time, and he's one of those rare birds that was a baseball player and made the conversion to softball fast pitch.
Swings at it, sends it out to right field. That is going foul and out of play. Bertoia was almost at home. He has to make the long trek back. 1-1 the call now on Mark McArith. The designated player, different from the designated hitter in baseball. He can be substituted if he gets on base, but he remains in the game. They want speed on the base paths, and McArith can come out, but he will retain his batting position. Strike.
That one
1-2. Yeah, McArith did not like it. Tony Bertoia, second base for Victoria. McArith jammed on that pitch by Seaman, sends it out of play to stay alive.
Jammed him all right, and it looks like he might have hurt his right hand.
A little vibration, most likely. Mark Sorensen having a few words with Jimmy Seaman, and now Tim Wall makes his way out, giving McArith just those few extra seconds to to shake that off. Like having your funny bone wrapped.
Stings. Tell you the cut that Makarov has taken to this. If he ever can get around on this ball, we may never find it.
The operative word, if. Seaman delivers, and Makarov strikes out to retire the side. So Victoria with their first hit as Tony Bertoya advances to second, but Mark Makarov cannot bring him home. So through 4 complete innings of play, we have a runless ball game. You're watching the final of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge from New Westminster, British Columbia on TSN. British Columbia. I'm Jim Van Horn along with Wayne Cox. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the North American Fastball Challenge. This is the final game between Sioux City and Victoria. Sioux City has left 6 men on base through 4 complete innings of play. That has been their problem. They have not been able to cash him in. Mike Piechnik has gotten himself into trouble on numerous occasions, but manages to get out of trouble time and time again with a big high fastball. Bill Boyer is now at the plate. It's the first pitch for a strike. Boyer 1 for 2, one of the 3 hits that Sioux City has.
Called a strike on Boyer.
Actually, Boyer did not get a hit his last time at bat. He made it to first on a fielder's choice. Goes after a bad pitch and strikes out. Needless to say, Bill Boyer is not a happy camper at the present time.
Ah, heck, he'll get over it, Jim. He went for one upstairs, didn't he? Look at that riser. You get Boyer out in a pitch like that, you're doing all right.
That was the 6th strikeout for Mike Piechnik this afternoon. The batter is Todd Stevenson. Tries to slap at that one. Misses. Strike 1.
As I mentioned, Stevenson is known to be a good bunter and a good slapper. And he can also hit the ball. So where would you play him?
Strike 2. I think they're playing him perfectly the way they are.
I'll tell you, the third baseman and the first baseman creep in there. I don't know. They must have good dental plans or something. One and 2. Two and 2. Talked about Sioux City, Iowa's team and the all-stars that are on this team. Last season's record for Sioux City, Iowa, 118 wins and only 11 losses. Not a bad season.
Swing and a miss for Todd Stevenson. Strikeout number 7 for Piechnik. He is rolling along, and even though he has had his problems, he continues to get himself out of jams, and this is one of the pitches that he uses. This one down and away as Stevenson went at it. Third baseman now, Marty Kernaghan, trying to get something going here for Sioux City in the top of the 5th inning. 2 out, no score. Kernaghan, a member of Canada's national team, as I mentioned earlier, from Calgary, Alberta. Ball 1. Blown away.
These are the best in the world we're watching here, Jim, and as we mentioned before, this is not the major leagues. They aren't bringing in the big bucks that Major League Baseball players make, but a lot of them make the most of their career, and Kernaghan is one of them.
Ball 2.
A pilot had an opportunity to go with Sioux City, Iowa, and their organization. They take care of their ball players, and they make sure a lot of things are taken care of. Things like a job.
3 balls, no strikes on Marty Kernaghan.
Some of the expenses. So Kernaghan was able to continue his flying and put together a company with his brother and making the most out of what fast pitch can offer.
Kernaghan waiting on that pitch. It was low and outside. Walked on 4 straight pitches. Kernaghan coming into this game batting .286 with 4 hits, 6 RBI, 3 home runs. Tied for the lead. And we have a substitute runner coming in for Marty Kernaghan. That is number 1, Dirk Adlin. Looking for some speed on the base paths. Mark Sorensen now coming to the plate. We have 2 out in the top of the 5th.
Well, Sorensen, captain of the New Zealand national team. His father was a New Zealand player too, national player. Mark has been on the national team. He's in the national team since 17 years of age. So this ball player has been a ball player for a long time.
Man on first, 2 out. Piechnik delivers outside, ball 1.
Toronto Blue Jays even had a look at Mark Sorensen at one point in his career. He has a tremendous arm, great bat. They're thinking of trying to switch him over to baseball.
Ball 2. Outfield is shading Sorensen slightly to right. Piechnik comes through with a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mark Sorensen, 2 out, top of the 5th, no score. Victoria, Sioux City, the final of the North American Fastball Challenge. Three balls, 1 strike. Piechnik a little frustrated. I think he thought that he may have caught the corner on that one. Sorensen draws the walk, so Adlin advances to second. Sorensen to first. That's the 2nd straight walk given up by Piechnik. Maybe we can speculate that a little bit of fatigue might be setting in.
I was going to say, especially after that last pitch, that did seem to get away from him. Maybe he is getting tired. Maybe he can't do 4 or 5 in a day. As you see, as Mike comes through on this one.
That ball really got away from him. That was the 4th walk issued by Piechnik. 2 in this inning. So now it's up to Trent Rubley once again to see if he can bring home a couple of runs for Sioux City. They've left 6 runners on base. They've challenged in every inning but the first, but have not been able to capitalize. Piechnik bears down. Rubley takes the ball to deep left field, and under it is Doug Aston to make the out and retire the side. And once again, 2 men are left on base for Sioux City as they cannot take advantage of runners in scoring position. So we remain scoreless through 4.5 innings of play. You're watching the North American Fast Pitch Challenge on TSN. Score between Sioux City and Victoria. Payless at the plate. Tally swings at the first pitch, goes to second baseman Steve Carrion, who makes the easy out. As Jimmy Seaman continues to be impressive for Sioux City. Tally going after a low first pitch. Mark Sorensen receiving from Steve Carrion. Doug Chase, the batter. Ball 1.
We've seen a lot of great ball players in this tournament. Best in the world right here at Queen's Park. And you're looking at one of the Canadian national world champion players up to bat.
2 balls, no strikes on Doug Chase. Struck out his first time at bat. Swings at a good pitch, just missed.
I just picked up that line. You said it wasn't a bit ago?
Oddly enough, Doug Chase is the catcher for the national team. And today he's playing right field, showing his versatility. Brian Van Oss, home plate umpire, calling time. British Columbia native, received the biggest boo of anyone here today as he was introduced. Followed by Mike Hornak, who's also from British Columbia. He's down the right field line. Swing and a miss for Doug Chase.
See, if you're an umpire, they don't care where you're from. You can be a hometown umpire, and they still don't care.
They will call you out.
Oh, my.
Change up, full count. Jimmy Seaman questioning the call. It really gives you an indication of the concentration that he has pitch to pitch. He is constantly asking for an update on the calls. Ball 4. That is the first walk of the game issued by Jimmy Seaman. Doug Chase is on first, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Doug Aston is the next batter. High and away as Chase makes his way to first. Left fielder Doug Aston popped out his last time up, batting .385 for the tournament. Squares to bunt. It goes foul to the fence. So much motion and so much power for Jimmy Seaman. Once again, Aston squares to bunt, hoping to advance the runner as Kernigan charges in from first base, or from third base, pardon me, along with Mark Sorensen, and they are charging. Look how close they are. They are right on top of the batter.
As I say, Jim, a good dental program, I think there too. You know, this Seaman is such a large fellow. When he comes off that rubber, it's got to be intimidating for a batter. Ball's coming in fast enough, but a whole lot of player coming at you before that ball's released too.
Second baseman Steve Carrion debating with the umpire as to whether or not Doug Chase is going off the base path and possibly interfering with him. Ball's going foul. Doug Aston staying alive. 1 out. Man on first for Victoria Payless. We're in the bottom of the 5th in a runless ball game.
Don't think I have to say it'd be an opportune time for Victoria to get something on the scoreboard, especially when they're facing this team.
Yeah, fans here are starting to get a little bit antsy. As Aston steps in. 2-2 the count. Seaman delivers low, full count. Now, do you give him the green light here, or does he take it? Doug Chase is on first. One is away. Victoria appears to be getting something going, and he fouls it straight back. He obviously had the green light. Doug Chase hoping to be advanced to second and possibly further. As Doug Aston receives from Jimmy Seaman. Pops it up to right field. Underneath it is Randy Burnside, and Doug Chase does not advance. Dave Badavinik, the third baseman now.
The Sioux City team is really something. As I mentioned, last season's record, 118 wins, 11 losses. Jimmy Seaman, we're watching, he won 32 games over the season. Well, Michael White, who's on the bench right now, he won 35.
Strike one to Dave Badavinik.
So Seaman is to falter a little bit. They certainly have strength waiting.
Interesting, Left Seaman has pitched in 3 of the games. Michael White has 1 save and a 3.11 ERA. That was the only action that he saw here this week.
He's gone.
Attempted steal, and it goes into center field, and that means that Chase will advance to third. Wall with a throw offline, allowing Chase to advance. Badavinik swung at the pitch. Seaman delivering. It was a high fastball. Wall tried to get away the throw quickly, but he was off the mark, and that allowed Chase to advance to third on the throw to second. So with 2 out, Dave Badavinik has an opportunity to bring home Doug Chase. Right 3 call. 7th strikeout. Couldn't have come at a more important time for Jimmy Seaman. Burnside swings at an outside pitch. Strike 1. Struck out his last time at bat. Pieknik showing an erratic side to him in the last inning. I'm speculating if possibly he was maybe showing the effects of pitching his last game. Burnside swings at the ball. That is fair. And he is called out by home plate umpire. Good call. As the third baseman, Dave Badavinik, really hustled to get that ball just inside the line. Burnside, of course, stumbling as he made his way down the first base line. But that was clearly in play.
He looked like he thought that one was a foul ball. Looked like he just held up, was coming back for another crack at it. And as you say, an alert play by the third baseman.
Next batter is the catcher, Tim Wall. And he takes this one for a ride to deep center field, all the way back to the fence, and it is gone as the center fielder, Jeff Herford, tried to reach as far back as possible. He ended up upsetting the fence, but that could be a very key run for Sioux City. Jeff Wall going straight away to center field. That ball traveling about 260 feet over the center field fence, and it's 1-0 for Sioux City.
The ball was gone, and so was the center field fence. Man, that was a shot straight back.
Tim Wall really took that ball for a ride as Mike Pieknik served up the perfect pitch. The center fielder, Jeff Herford, went as far back plus as he could go, but it was obvious that that ball was gone for a home run. And now Sioux City and Tim Wall have taken a 1-0 lead over Victoria Payless.
As we mentioned before, Jim, that's a lot of times all it's needed. That one run in fast pitch, that can do it. As we see, we've gone 5 complete innings of play without a run. We've got a couple to go. This one could be it.
Doug Middleton trying to add to the lead now. Piatnik delivers high, ball 1. And 1 is out. Top of the 6th inning. Scheduled for 7 if it does not go to extra innings. Ball 2. Swings at a low pitch, 1 ball. Make that 2 balls and a strike.
A lot of people in the stands, I'm sure, are amazed to see that Piatnik is vulnerable. That somebody can get some lumber on him. He's pitched outstanding ball through this whole tournament.
Big swing by Doug Middleton. Strike 2, 2-2. Tim Wall, the catcher for Sioux City, has given National Healthcare a 1-0 lead over Victoria Payless. We are now in the top of the 6th inning of this North American Fast Pitch Challenge final. Three and 2. Should mention too that this is a winner-take-all ball game. The winner of this game will take home $12,000.
As we mentioned before, these ball clubs travel an awful lot. Various tournaments.
Strike 3. Middleton strikes out. That is strikeout number 9. From up above, Doug Middleton with a big cut. And you see the ball entering the catcher's glove as he strikes out. That's the 9th strikeout for Mike Piatnik. Piatnik, one mistake today after getting himself out of trouble so many times early. Serving up the gopher ball for Tim Wall. This is Steve Carrion, the second baseman, swinging at a changeup.
You mentioned that prize money, Jim, talking earlier to Payless Club. They work on about a $90,000 a year budget. That's what it takes to run this ball club and get them the places they want to go and pay their expenses. So the prize money today for either one of these teams can come in handy to help with that.
It sure can. Piatnik delivers, and it is popped up by Steve Carrion, the second baseman. Oh, coming over into foul territory. That was Bobby Court, who just had the ball go off the end of his glove. Carrion pops it up, and Court coming over from his second base position, possibly because of the unknown confines of the ballpark. He's only been here for a couple of days and maybe thought he was closer to the wall than he was, as the ball goes off the tip of his glove. Possibly just took his eye. 0-2 the count now to Steve Carrion. Strike 3. Strikeout number 10 for Mike Piatnik. Retires the side, but not before the catcher, Tim Wall, provides a very important run in the box and receiving from Jimmy Seaman as the bottom of the 6th is just getting underway. Of course, Tim Wall with that big home run in the top of the 6th to give Sioux City a 1-0 lead over Victoria Payless. Court swings, fouls it back.
Jimmy mentioned that home run by Tim Wall when we saw Jeff Herford go back and the fence collapsed behind him. That's a breakaway fence in this park. That's why there is no warning track in the outfield. Players are aware of the fence, and it will break away as it did.
Here's that slap ball by Court to the shortstop, Todd Stevenson, but he quickly gets it out of his glove to throw the man out. So Bobby Court, after striking out his first time at bat, grounds out in the bottom of the 6th. 1 away. There's that slap hit again. It's a common play in fast pitch. It's not as if they're trying to get a cheap hit. This is a play that is used quite regularly. Jeff Herford, the batter. Strike 1. Jimmy Seaman Looks like he's got a little bit of extra confidence with that one-run lead. Strike 2 to Jeff Herford, who popped out his last time at bat. One and two.
Jeff Herford trying to lay down a bunt. They're just trying to get a man on base, I would imagine, at this point. Attempt to get someone into scoring position.
Straight back to the pitcher. Seaman throws him out to Sorensen. And we have 2 out now in the bottom of the 6th. Coming into the inning, Victoria had 1 hit, left 2 men on base through 5 complete. So Seaman has not given them a lot to look at. On the other hand, Sioux City has had 4 hits, and left 8 on base. Tim Wall decided if he couldn't cash in any more runs, he'd take care of it himself and sent one over the center field fence. This is Tony Bertoya, the shortstop. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back. Strike 1. Strike 2.
Well, the pitcher's doing his job if that ball stays within the confines of the park. Giving his players a chance to make a play on it. So the ones that we saw heading out over center field, nobody could do very much about.
Victoria in this tournament has not used the long ball to success. Now there isn't a single player in this tournament that has put the ball out of the park. So they've gutted out every victory that they've had. Victoria fouls back another pitch to stay alive. They went through the round-robin segment undefeated. Victoria defeated Sioux City 1-0 in their previous game. Seaman delivers, and Bertoya strikes out to retire the side. So through 6 complete innings of play, Sioux City with what appears to be a difficult 1-0 lead over Victoria Payless, much to the chagrin of the Victoria fans here in New Westminster, British Columbia. Victoria 1-0. Mike Piechnik has struck out 10 so far today. Chopper off the plate. That is a fair ball. Looks like he's going for 2. It's going to be a close play, but he is safe. Wide slide as the second baseman Bobby Court turned to catch Boyer, but he didn't get there. He slaps this one down the third base line. And watch him take off. This man is like a jackrabbit on the base paths. He has speed to burn. The left fielder tries to get the ball in play. He makes a great throw. Doug Aston does. And the second baseman, Bobby Court, turns to make the tag, but the wide slide by Bill Boyer, and he is in safe with a double.
Seeing why right there. Quite possibly the best fast pitch player in the world today.
Nobody out. Man on second. Todd Stevenson coming up to the plate. 5th hit of the afternoon for Sioux City. Faces to bunt to advance the runner. He does, and he is forced out at first. Not forced out, but he sacrifices himself at first. But with 1 away, Stevenson with the sacrifice bunt advances Boyer to third. Really no doubt about this one that he was going to bunt to advance the runner. They get the man at first, but more importantly, Boyer advances to third on the play, and Marty Kernaghan, the third baseman, will now try to bring him home. All he has to do is get this ball in the air out of the field, and you can be sure that Boyer is going to be running.
Jim, with his speed, look out for any pass ball. you can be sure a pass ball, he's going to be looking for home plate.
Piechnik delivers. Strike one. Kernigan was walked the last time he was at the plate. High. 1-1. Ball's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Marty Kernigan. Bill Boyer at third, 1 out, 1-0 for National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa. Down the first base line. Boyer is looked back as Darrell Clarkson makes the play.
Smart play
to
by
get
Clarkson.
Kernigan. Yes, he just waited and dared Boyer to make the run.
He didn't take his eyes off Boyer. Well, here it is. He takes a crack at it. There's Boyer. He's looking, he's wanting, but no, he knows he can't go anywhere. Competitive nature of Boyer. He'd be upset about that.
2 out now, top of the 7th. It's Mark Sorensen. Boyer on first, or third, pardon me. Takes this one for a ride. This one, he is just looking at it. It is gone.
Goodbye.
There was no doubt about that one. Boyer comes in to score. And Mark Sorensen, who is batting .300 coming into this game, has added 2 big runs for Sioux City. And it is now 3-0 over Victoria Payless.
Goodbye as Mark Sorensen tags that one. Landed on the souvenir booth table. That's a new souvenir out there. What price tag are we going to put on that one? Did he ever hammer this pitch? He got everything of this ball.
Piechnik delivers right down the middle at the belt line, and there was no doubt about it. You could see Piechnik wave at it as it made its way well over the grandstand and into the souvenir stand.
It was put back there.
That had to go about 280 feet. That was a long way back. Ted Rubley now takes ball 1. 3-0 Sioux City, Iowa. National Healthcare team leading Victoria Payless. Ball 2.
Well, Mark Sorensen sure got every piece of that pitch, Jim. Mentioned before, captain of the New Zealand team. Been on the national team since he was 17. He certainly smoked that one.
Sure was. His first home run of the tournament couldn't have come at a better time. 2-1 the count to Trent Rubley, top of the 7th. 2-2.
Yes.
Trent Rubley takes this one way back to center field, and that again is gone. 4-0 now for Sioux City, and very quickly Mark Sorensen started it. Trent Rubley continues it as Mike Piechnik starts to show a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of frustration.
And all of a sudden, Sioux City is putting on a batting clinic for everyone. Away we go. A riser. It came up on him, and he took advantage of it. Deep to center.
First home run for Trent Rubley, but more importantly, it adds that 4th run for National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa. And if Victoria Payless was going to put on their rally caps, they better do it now because they only have half an inning to go. Got the outside corner on Randy Burnside. Strike 1. 2-1. First year this tournament has been held, the North American Fast Pitch Challenge. All the teams have had a great time here this past week, and you can be sure that they'll be back for more next year. 2-1.
Jim, it has been a great tournament, and tip of the hat to the organizers for putting this show together for local fast pitch fans. And you can get the best in the world in a park. The past number of days we've been turning out and watching the very best in their field. Tip of the hat to those organizers and major sponsors too. Well, people like Glenn Todd, who's responsible for a lot of support and a lot of financial support too. Takes a lot of that.
Full count on Randy Burnside now. 2 out, top of the 7th. 2 home runs, one from Mark Sorensen with a man on, and a solo shot by Trent Rubley have given Sioux City a 4-0 lead over Victoria Payless. So Randy Burnside sent down to first base on the walk. Fifth walk for Piechnik this afternoon.
You mentioned a couple innings back that you thought Piechnik was showing the strains, maybe getting a little tired, a little weary. He's had such a great tournament. Nobody was touching him, and now looks like everybody's tagging him.
Tim Wall at the plate now. He was the one that started things off with that solo shot in the last inning and comes up with a comebacker up the middle for a single. Randy Burnside advances to second base. All of this action coming with 2 out in the top of the 7th. Runners at first and second for Sioux City. Piechnik delivers for a strike. 1-1. Strike 2.
Tired or not, he's still got some heat out there, Jim.
Two and 2. Piechnik delivers. It comes right back to him. He makes the play to first to retire the side, but unfortunately for Victoria Payless, Mark Sorensen with a 2-run homer. Trent Rubley with a solo shot. Ups the total for Sioux City, Iowa to 4-0. And they have one more chance to get back into this ball game. Coming up to the plate. Victoria has not had a lot of success against this man. Jimmy Seaman has allowed just 1 hit. Has struck out 8. Swing and a miss for a strike. 1-1.
Jimmy Seaman still bringing in pretty quick. I understand a couple of years ago, Buck Martinez faced a few of these pitches.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I have it on good authority. Buck faced 10 pitches. He managed to foul 2 away. That's about as good as he could do. And that was against a 39-year-old man. I mean, so balls are coming in quick on you.
Struck him out.
Like that.
Strikeout number 9. Darrell Clarkson going down to Jimmy Seaman. 2 outs away. For National Health Care from Sioux City, Iowa, they lead 4-0. Bottom of the 7th. Mark McArith, the designated player. Just outside.
You mentioned, Jim, if there's any time for rally caps, it'd be right about now.
Change up. Makareth went after it, was way out in front of the pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. 4-0. Sioux City leads. Strike 3, 10th strikeout for Jimmy Seaman. As Mark Makareth makes the long walk back to the dugout. Rocky Vitale coming to the plate now.
It's almost as if Seaman can sense the end of this one, Jim. He's heating up with every pitch. Watch this one.
Straight down the middle. He simply overpowered him with it. Rocky Vitale. Strike 1.
Seaman is saying, it's hot. I want to sit down. Let's put this one away.
Pops it up to the second baseman. Steve Carrion makes the outs. And that is it. A most impressive performance for Jimmy Seaman. And National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa, Wayne. They were full value for that victory.
Boy, I'll tell you, they showed everything that everyone says about them. Starting with Jimmy Seaman, and then go right down to the power of the bats. And when they put that batting clinic on, it was all over for Victoria. But Victoria, as we mentioned before, had such a great tournament, and they did make it to the final. A great ball club in Victoria, but today, a better one from Sioux City.
Congratulations to National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa, the first winners of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge here on TSN. For Victoria Payless 0, the team from Sioux City, Iowa, winning the 1992 North American Fast Pitch Challenge.
Now I ask Mr. Bill Reed, representing Civic Customs Brokers, the sponsors of this tournament, to come forward and present a check for $17,900 and 2 trophies to National Healthcare.
That they want them to spend it in New Westminster before you leave, guys, okay?
Congratulations.
Well, to the victors go the spoils, and certainly a magnificent trophy, but more importantly, $12,000 in cash to Sioux City, Iowa, for their victory in the first North American Challenge Fast Pitch Tournament, and certainly they were full value for the victory today.
Well, you can see why they're rated #1 in the world today. They are a powerful team. It doesn't matter which way you look. Pitching, batting, fielding, they were everywhere. They were crushing it over the fence. They did everything that the press clippings say they can do, and what a treat it was for the people in the stands here today that came out to watch the very best in the world.
I really thought, I felt badly for Victoria today because they had their chances. Well, they didn't have too many chances. Obviously, they only had 1 hit throughout the game, but Sioux City kept on leaving men on bases. Through 6 innings, they had 8 men left on base. They couldn't cash them in, but all of a sudden, Tim Wall started it off, opened the floodgates, and the home runs really, really took the toll.
As you mentioned during the game, how long are they going to keep this up? How long can they go inning after inning and, you know, leave base runners stranded? They couldn't do it, and they didn't. It finally caught up to Victoria.
Well, it caught up to Victoria, and much to the delight of Sioux City, because it was National Healthcare that went on to an impressive 4-0 victory in the final of the North American Challenge here in New Westminster, British Columbia. For Wayne Cox, I'm Jim Van Horn. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.
The North American Fastball Challenge has been brought to you by Pacific Customs Brokers Limited.
It's almost as if Seaman can sense the end of this one, Jim. He's heating up with every pitch. Watch this one.
Straight down the middle. He simply overpowered him with it. Rocky Vitale. Strike 1.
Seaman is saying, it's hot. I want to sit down. Let's put this one away.
Pops it up to the second baseman. Steve Carrion makes the outs, and that is it. A most impressive performance for Jimmy Seaman and National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa, Wayne. They were full value for that victory.
Boy, I'll tell you, they showed everything that everyone says about them. Starting with Jimmy Seaman, and then go right down to the power of the bats. And when they put that batting clinic on, it was all over for Victoria. But Victoria, as we mentioned before, had such a great tournament, and they did make it to the final. A great ball club in Victoria, but today a better one from Sioux City.
Congratulations to National Healthcare from Sioux City, Iowa, the first winners of the North American Fast Pitch Challenge here on TSN.
To have any sport right at your fingertips, just put this in your hand. The Casio Sports Vision Color TV.
The Casio Sports Vision Color TV operates on batteries, optional power supply, or optional car adapter. Built-in features include a brilliant 5.5-centimeter liquid crystal screen, full VHF, UHF channel capability, and separate color, brightness, and volume controls. We'll even include a set of Casio headphones, a $30 value, absolutely free while supplies last.
It's perfect for the sport in your life. The Casio Sports Vision Color TV.
The Casio Sports Vision Color TV and other fine Casio products are available at the Bay, Aventure Electronics, Canadian Tire, London Drugs, Multitech Warehouse Direct, and other fine retailers.
Casio.
So the final score, National Healthcare Discounters 4, Victoria Payless 0. The team from Sioux City, Iowa, winning the 1992 North American Fast Pitch Challenge.
Now ask Mr. Bill Reed, representing Civic Customs Brokers, the sponsors of this tournament, to come forward and present a check for $17,900 and 2 trophies to National Healthcare.
That they want them to spend it in New Westminster before you leave, guys, okay?
Congratulations.
Well, to the victors go the spoils, and certainly a magnificent trophy, but more importantly, $12,000 in cash to Sioux City, Iowa, for their victory in the first North American Challenge Fast Pitch Tournament, and certainly they were full value for the victory today.
Well, you can see why they're rated #1 in the world today. They are a powerful team. It doesn't matter which way you look. Pitching, batting, fielding, they were everywhere. They were crushing it over the fence. They did everything that the press clippings say they can do. And what a treat it was for the people in the stands here today that came out to watch the very best in the world.
I really thought, I felt badly for Victoria today because they had their chances. Well, they didn't have too many chances. Obviously, they only had 1 hit throughout the game. But Sioux City kept on leaving men on bases. Through 6 innings, they had 8 men left on base. They couldn't cash them in. But all of a sudden, Tim Wall started it off, opened the floodgates, and the home runs really took the toll.
As you mentioned during the game, how long are they going to keep this up? How long can they go inning after inning and, you know, leave base runners stranded? They couldn't do it, and they didn't. It finally caught up to Victoria.
Well, it caught up to Victoria, and much to the delight of Sioux City, because it was National Healthcare that went on to an impressive 4-0 victory in the final of the North American Challenge here in New Westminster, British Columbia. For Wayne Cox, I'm Jim Van Horn. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.
The North American Fastball Challenge has been brought to you by Pacific Customs Brokers Limited.